Hello student, welcome to lecture number 1, topic lubricants. Myself Professor Makaran Kulkarni. Let us start the first lecture of lubricant. What you are going to learn in this lecture: friction, definition of lubricants and lubrication, classification of lubricants and mechanism of lubrication, means types. Let us start with the first concept of friction. The rubbing of one part over the other leads to the resistance of movement is called as a friction. When two parts of the metal at the time of movement they are rubbed with each other, the frictions are coming out. To reduce the friction, lubricants are used, and here the important role of lubricants we have to discuss. What is my lubricants? It is a substance introduced between the two moving or sliding surfaces to reduce the friction between them, and this phenomenon is called as lubrication. There are certain mechanisms of lubricants depending on the condition. The first one is fluid film or thick film or hydrodynamic lubrication. Second one is boundary or thin film lubrication. And the third one is extreme pressure lubrication. Let us start the discussion in brief. First one, fluid film or thick film or hydrodynamic lubrication. Moving surfaces separated by the pressure of continuous unbroken film, means a thick film or a layer of lubrication, is known as a fluid film or thick film lubrication. Look at here the diagram. The two surfaces of the metal, those are rubbed with each other. In between them a thick layer of lubricant is filled to reduce the friction between them. So by using this we can avoid a friction by using a fluid film or thick film lubrication. To fluid film lubrication, the lubricant must have minimum viscosity and should remain in place and separate the two surfaces. The coefficient of friction in such cases is extremely low, that is in the order of 0.001 to 0.03. This is known as hydrodynamics lubrication, also known as liquid and dynamic, means a relative motion. It is provided in a delicate instrument such as watches, clocks, guns, light machines such as sewing machines, scientific instruments, etc. The second mechanism of lubrication is boundary or thin film. Previously we discussed the thick film, now it is a thin film lubrication. What are the conditions? When the load is high and when the surfaces are not perfect, then we can use or we have to use a boundary or thin film lubrication. Look at the diagram. Here in between the two surfaces it is adsorbed by the thin lubricant layer to avoid the friction between them. Boundary lubrication is suitable when a continuous film or lubricant cannot persist and direct metal to metal contact possible. The coefficient of friction is 0.05 to 0.15. The third and the last mechanism of lubrication is extreme pressure lubrication. Name itself indicates that when the moving or sliding surfaces are working under the very high pressure and speed, then we have to use this type of lubrication. Also, when the liquid lubricants fails to stick, we have to use oil soluble and polar head type additives we have to add to give or to reduce the friction between the two metal surfaces, called as extreme pressure lubrication. In this type of lubrication, additives are used. These additives form more durable films capable of withstanding very high loads and temperatures. Thank you. Distance doesn't matter. Keep learning.